A Colorado woman who stabbed her mother 79 times.
Evil person I've ever sat across the table from.
Not getting out of jail. It makes me physically sick.
Your life ended last night when you decided to go kill your mother.
It's not up for argument.
I can't go to prison.
You're going to prison.
No.
Yeah.
And that bitch is probably fucking crazy as shit and she's gonna go kill somebody else. At least we can take some happiness in that.
Isabella Guzman, the 18-year-old who stabbed her mother almost 150 times, has literally become a female version of Ted Bundy, admired and adored by many. The teenager became viral, especially on TikTok, where people said she was too pretty to be a bad person and the crime she committed was certainly not her fault. The case is also said to have inspired the hit single Sweet But Psycho by Ava Max. But whether Guzman is in fact a sweet psycho or a ruthless murderer, you're going to have to decide for yourselves as we bring you the details of this case right now. Isabella's childhood was not an easy one. She came from a broken family and constantly changed places of residence. One time she would be with her mother, Yun Mi Hoi, and her new partner, and then she'd be sent back to her biological father, Robert Guzman. Also, as a teenager, she was described as unhappy and closed off, but on the other hand, kind and lovable.
And it was extraordinarily traumatic and stressful, and that she never got the help she needed. And so it just kind of all spilled out like a volcano all at that moment.
One thing was certain. Guzman had not gotten along with her mother for quite some time, and quarrels often broke out at home. As the investigation later found out, Yun Mi Hoi was afraid of her daughter, who was said to be aggressive and called her names and was constantly insulting her. The mother reportedly had to lock the door at night against her daughter in fear for her own life.
The fight with my mom was terrible, and I was injured in the process.
They've had a bad relationship.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
The situation escalated to an unimaginable scale when, in August 2013, Isabella Guzman brutally murdered her mother. On the evening of August 28, 2013, Yun Mi Hoi got home from work at 9:30 p.m.
bringing dinner for her husband, 40-year-old Ryan Hoi.
She informed her husband that she was going upstairs to shower. Shortly after, her husband heard a loud noise and her screaming in terror. Ryan Hoi hurried upstairs and witnessed Isabella Guzman shutting the bathroom door. He attempted to enter, but found it locked with Guzman on the other side. Upon spotting blood seeping from under the door, he rushed downstairs to dial 911. Upon Ryan Hoi's return, Guzman opened the door and emerged holding a bloodied knife. He recalled that Guzman did not utter a word to him and left the bathroom in the house as if nothing had occurred. He ran into the bathroom and found Yun Mi Hoi naked on the floor, covered in stab wounds. He tried to resuscitate her, but she was already dead. Investigators later found out that her throat had been slashed and she'd been stabbed at least 79 times in the head, neck, and torso. Upon the police's arrival, Isabella Guzman had already departed from the scene. Law enforcement swiftly initiated a search and issued a public warning regarding Guzman's dangerous status. The following afternoon, officers located her in a nearby parking garage.
They had no idea of exactly who they were going to be speaking with.
Upon her appearance in the courtroom, she entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. Interestingly, she exhibited a sequence of peculiar facial expressions, including smirking and pointing at her eyes, which left everyone involved rather disturbed. However, she probably showed the most disturbing behavior at the interrogation, the best parts of which we'll show you soon. But first, we'd like to remind you to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get back to our topic. When police officers began questioning Guzman, they knew perfectly well that she was guilty, but the teenager had her own version of events.
You left her to die, brutally, on a bathroom
I did
floor.
not murder anyone. Please fingerprint me, please fingerprint me. I will show you that I am not this freaky, horrible person.
All this time, she'd been denying that she's guilty of the crime and that the entire case is one huge mistake. The teenager began to claim that the police officers had caught the wrong person and she had no idea what the whole murder was all about. She even started to argue that her name is not Isabella, but Samantha. She made up a whole new identity for herself and told the police officers the entire story of Samantha's life, which totally didn't add up.
I'm being truthful.
That's you.
No, it is not.
There's no question.
He's pretty.
Yeah, you're a pretty girl. That's you.
But that's not me.
Of course, no one bought it. Officers tried to make her understand that pretending to be another person won't help because all the evidence undeniably points to her being Isabella Guzman, who stabbed her mother 79 times.
I could have not walked to the parking garage, so he would have not mistaken me for being someone else.
When questioned, the father also came obviously heartbroken, but he confirmed that the suspect was his daughter. Despite this, the woman persisted in her version of events.
Oh, you people fucking suck. And that bitch is probably fucking crazy as shit and she's gonna go kill somebody else.
Eventually, the policemen lost patience and their tone became extremely harsh.
You committed a heinous. Okay, you're going to go to prison for that.
No.
You're not getting out of jail.
At this stage, everyone thought the teenager was just pretending to be psychotic in order to avoid jail, but her behavior was becoming more bizarre by the minute. Guzman sobbed, screamed, and at times became very aggressive. And it must be said that, to everyone's surprise, her tactics became extremely effective, especially because the court believed that the teenager was mentally ill and killed her mother in the midst of a schizophrenic psychosis, which is why she was sent to a Colorado Mental Health Institute in Pueblo instead of prison. George Brockler, district attorney for the 18th Judicial District of Colorado, had this to say. "We punish people who make decisions to do wrong when they knew better, and they could have done something differently. And in this particular case, I am convinced that this woman did not know right from wrong, and she could not have acted differently than she did, given the significant schizophrenia and paranoid delusions, audible, visual hallucinations that she was going through." A doctor testified that she was suffering from schizophrenia and had experienced delusions for years. She hadn't even realized that she was stabbing her mother. Rather, Guzman thought she'd killed a woman named Cecilia in order to save the world. Guzman escaped responsibility for what she did and, after several years in a psychiatric facility, claimed that she is now mentally healthy and can be released. She had this to say, "I was not myself when I did that, and I have since been restored to full health. I was abused at home by my family for many years. My parents are Jehovah's Witnesses, and I left the religion when I was 14, and the abuse at home worsened after I quit. If I could change it or if I could take it back, I would." And so it happened once again, to the surprise of everyone, when she was released from the psychiatric facility in 2021. So, what are your thoughts? Is Guzman a calculated murderer who pretends to be mentally ill, or is she truly an innocent teenager suffering from a severe illness that has deprived her of awareness? Let us know in the comments below what you think and if you'd like to see more cases like this one. And if you haven't already, please make sure you check out our previous videos. We'll see you there. And as always, thank you for watching.